In the Elder Scrolls series, there are many different types of creatures that are both big and small. Today we are going to be focusing on some of the most large and unsettling creatures that can be found in both Nirn and Oblivion. There will be some I didn't include in the video for one reason or another, so if I didn't include one that you was expecting, then please leave a comment down below. Also, this video is inspired by Naught, who made a video on this topic for the Fallout series. With that said, please consider leaving a like on the video and subscribing to the channel for everything Elder Scrolls related. But without further ado, let's start with the first creature. The Manticora is an aggressive and unnatural creature that was artificially created by the Scaled Court, approximately in the 572nd year of the Second Era, when they were experimenting with the red stone known as Nirncrux, as well as ritualistic magics. The Manticora enjoys the thrill of hunting prey, as they never like to finish off their prey quickly, but rather like to toy with them before giving them a slow and painful end. Apart from having razor sharp claws and teeth, the Manticora has the ability to poison their victims, with an extremely lethal poison that cooks them from the inside. The beast shares many traits from other creatures, such as Wamasu, crocodiles, scorpions, and the Welwa. Furthermore, during the experiments, both men and elves were used to give the Manticora the high intelligence that they possess. The normal version of these creatures are dangerous, but there is in fact an even more horrific version called the Draconic Manticora. These came about when Mehrunes Dagon stole a bunch of the Manticora and then had them ingest Infernian blood and herbs from the Deadlands to transform the Manticora into an even more savage variant of the beast. Now, in terms of the size of the Manticora, well, there isn't an exact answer, as you will see for most of these creatures, so instead we will just have to estimate. As we can see in this picture from the Elder Scrolls Legends, there is a man that is battling a Manticora. Personally, I would say that the man is a third of the Manticora's height, and so if we take the average global height for a male and times it by 3, we would then have an estimate of 16 foot and 10.5 inches tall, which is about the same size as some giraffes. Rootworms are extremely large worms that were native to Blackmarsh, the land of the Argonians. I am pretty sure that these worms are either extinct or have moved location, because whilst doing research for this video there was a lot of past tense phrases such as "they were massive worms", which to me indicates that they might not exist anymore. But anyway, rootworms are large worms that are described as armless, legless, boneless and eyeless. For the people in Blackmarsh, these creatures were not a threat, but instead were actually extremely useful. This is because travellers used to climb into the breathing holes to enter into the worm's stomach, in order to ride inside them, as the rootworm would travel through the tunnels that were formed by the roots of the histories. This was known as the Underground Express. The rootworms are mentioned in the book called the Argonian Account Book 3, which can be found in both Oblivion and Skyrim. In this book, we are told that rootworms are extremely fast, as well as the fact that travellers did not need to worry about being digested, as rootworms tend to have an extremely slow digestive system, and so people could survive for months inside the stomach. Furthermore, in this book we also learn that the worm can grow up to about 8 foot long, which makes sense considering it has the ability to carry people inside of it. There is a theory on the Elder Scrolls Online forums by Lariana that suggests that rootworms are actually a larval form of a bigger creature. Their guess was a swamp leviathan, which is honestly quite interesting. Swamp leviathans are also native to Blackmarsh, but not much is known or documented about them, except for the fact that they were aquatic creatures that were feared by pretty much everyone. When I first saw the art from the Elder Scrolls Legends, I did not think that they were that big, until I realised the size of the birds flying near it. They also had extremely long and sharp claws that could reach up to 9 foot long. There will be a link to the forums page in the description if you want to read the theory for yourself. In the games Morrowind, Oblivion and Skyrim, there is a book that can be found called Mysterious Akavir, which sheds some more light onto the Akavir continent to the east of Tamriel. But most interestingly, near the end of the book, there are a few sentences that we'll be focusing on that say, "A great war was raged, which left both the cats and the snakes weak, and the dragons all dead. Since that time, the catfolk have tried to become the dragons. Tosh Raka is the first to succeed. He's the largest dragon in the world, orange and black, and he has very many new ideas." According to this book, Tosh Raka was apparently the first to be able to change into a dragon. He was the leader of the tiger dragons of Capoten, and his primary goal was to destroy the Seiski, a vampiric serpent species that also belonged on the Akavir continent. After that, according to the Mysterious Akavir book, his next goal was to invade Tamriel. When looking at his name, it is clear to see that if we take away the R in his name, then it would be an anagram of Akatosh, the dragon god of time. Unfortunately, there are no official pictures of his actual appearance, but there is some interesting fan art that gives us an idea of what he may have looked like. It is obviously stated in the book that he's the largest dragon in the world, but also that he was orange and black. It is also said that he kept his cat-like features in his dragon form, which is honestly really interesting. For this one, I can't give an estimate for his size, but if he is truly the largest dragon to ever live, then it is safe to say he is pretty large. By now, I'm pretty sure that most of us are familiar with the giants in Skyrim. These huge humanoids can be about 11 or 12 feet tall, but others may even be larger than that. However, as interesting as these giants are, they are not the large creature that we are going to be talking about next. Instead, we will be taking a look at the Ancient Giant, a creature so large that the trees below it would be like grass to the normal man. The Ancient Giant is only in the Elder Scrolls Legends, which I'm pretty sure is canon after doing some research on the topic. Not much is known about the towering behemoths, and by not much I mean nothing at all. My best guess is that these giants roamed the world in either the Mirific or Dawn era. On the Ancient Giant, we can see that he is wearing some sort of animal skin, but this makes me question, how big was that animal in order for it to cover a chest that big? As I said before, there is no information on them at all really, including the height of the one in the picture. Instead, we'll have to estimate again. So just for a bit of fun, I cut out the tree and duplicated it 7 times until it got to the same height as the giant's head. I do understand though that the giant is standing behind the trees, so this definitely will not be exact. I then typed in the average height of a tree, and it said that medium-sized trees can range anywhere between 25 feet to 40 feet, so let's just say 30. So if we times the 30 by the 8 trees, we would then know that the estimate would be around 240 feet tall at least. But I have a feeling that the height of the Ancient Giant is a lot taller. The Tamrielic whales live in the Abacan Sea and are the largest creatures that are currently on Nirn, similar to how the blue whale is the largest animal on our own Earth. In Skyrim and the Elder Scrolls Online, you can see carvings of the whales on a lot of Nordic burial sites and structures. There is actually a reason for this, as the Nordic people worshipped the whales, as well as other animals, as divine. The bridge that we see in Sovngarde in Skyrim is literally made from whalebone. The Tamrielic whale is very similar to the blue whale, in the way that they do not eat humans, and that they have been seen coming up for air when they need to. So my guess is that their size is probably about the same too. If this is the case, then the Tamrielic whale could commonly grow between 80 to 90 foot long, but could probably reach over 100 foot long in special cases. Emperor crabs are semi-aquatic crabs that at one time was native to the Ashlands in Vardenfell, who were also there alongside with the early Chimer. Unfortunately, or fortunately depending on who you ask, these gigantic crabs have been long extinct for many years before the 427th year of the Third Era. Evidence of this is in the crafting motif 52, Redoran style, in the Elder Scrolls Online that says, "Should any non-Redorian ask you why our arms and armour are inspired by the claws and chitin of gigantic arthropods, just ask them if they've seen any Emperor crabs lately. You know, those cathedral-sized crustaceans that once roamed the Ashlands of Vardenfell. Where did those go? We killed them, we the warriors of House Redoran." Furthermore, if you speak about Emperor crabs to Naminda, a Redguard that can be found in Morrowind, she will say, "This whole area was carved out of the shell of an Emperor crab. They've all been dead since long before you and I were born." House Redoran, one of the great houses of the Dunmer, have used the chitin of the Emperor crabs not only for their arms and armour, but also in most of their architecture. The most infamous Emperor crab to ever live was named Skar. Its shell is the foundation of the city called Aldrun, which was the seat of power for House Redoran. Again, there is no actual official size of these oversized crabs, but they are described as being as large as cathedrals, so I guess that is the best we have. The Daedric Titans are war slaves that serve their creator, Molag Bal. This came about in the Malefic era, after Alduin was banished into the future by Feldir the Old, Hakon One Eye, and Gormlife Goldenhilt. After Alduin was gone, a dragon named Bozit Kostrin attempted to fly past the borders of the Mundus. After failing to do so, he got the attention of the Daedric prince Molag Bal, who offered the dragon a place in Cold Harbour. The dragon accepted, and after entering the portal to Cold Harbour, was immediately captured and was bound by chains of cold ebon iron. From this point, Molag Bal tortured the dragon for a long time. The Daedric prince did this because he wanted to know the secret of the dragons being able to have dominion over the mortals. Bozit Kostrin refused to cooperate, and so Molag Bal had the dragon's flesh eaten as punishment. Eventually, all that was left was the bones, and so Molag Bal had the skeleton taken to the Vile laboratory, where it was infused with the blood of darkness, in order to reawaken it. Eventually, Bozit Kostrin had arisen as the first Daedric Titan. Following this, other Daedric Titans were created in his image. The Titans were first released upon Tamriel in the Plain Meld of the Second Era, when a portal was opened over the White Gold Tower. Some notable Daedric Titans are Azazachar, who Molag Bal referred to as his son. Also, there is Bogdan the Night Flame, who is the final boss of the Elden Hollow 2 dungeon in the Elder Scrolls Online. Bogdan was the leader of a plane of oblivion that was focused on the use of shadows. If you made it to the end of the video, then thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, leave a comment of your thoughts on some of the creatures mentioned, or let me know of some that I didn't have on the list. Anyway, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next video.